Joining us now is former FDA Commissioner Dr. Andrew von Eschenbach, who served under President George W. Bush. Dr. Eschenbach, thank you for joining us. You know, just as we get this terrible news that the U.S. has now surpassed 300,000 COVID-19 deaths, when do you actually expect the vaccine to start to make an impact on those skyrocketing caseloads and hospitalizations and deaths?
Well, Sarah, this is an amazing day for this country and for the world. And we are seeing the beginning of the end, but it is just the beginning. There are issues with regard to the logistics of being able to roll out these vaccines so that we have an ample number of Americans vaccinated and immune from this virus, and that's going to take a matter of months. We also have to deal with a lot of the aftermath that has occurred because of these tremendous infections and this horrendous kind of mortality and morbidity that this virus has produced. So the answer to your question is I expect 2021 to be a year of continuous incremental improvement, just as 20 seemed to be a year of continued unfortunate decline. We are going to be on the upslope, and what will be the challenge for us is to roll out additional vaccines, to enhance the logistics of distribution, and most importantly, to get Americans to trust in these vaccines and accept them and get vaccinated.
That's sort of what I was going to ask. There appears to be challenges on both the supply and the demand front. Which ultimately do you think is going to be a bigger issue for this country? Getting enough vaccines to the people who want them, or getting people to want them?
I don't think the availability is going to be an issue. We have tremendous logistics in place to deliver large volumes, billions of doses, and we have many other vaccines coming. You talked about Moderna will be evaluated this week, and then there are others as well. So the supply of and choices will not be the problem. I think the message for the American people is to understand that although we've made tremendous progress in the past year of going from the genetic code of the virus to now having a vaccine, this is not a rapid and reckless process. This has been built on 2 decades of an enormous investment, especially by this country, in the science and technology of vaccine discovery and development. So it's a sound foundation that we should trust in and accept.
Do you think that the U.S. will end up being vaccinated 90% plus just by Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines?
I can't give you a projection on that acceptance in that number, Wilfred, but I do think that there are 2 parts to that equation. One is patients getting vaccinated, and then there are many people who perhaps will already have some immunity. So as far as the transmission of virus is concerned, in terms of people getting sick and dying from it, I think we'll see improvement of that that'll go beyond just the flat out numbers of how many get vaccinated. I think that that benefit will be much greater than the number of vaccinations.
So these are 2-shot vaccines, both Pfizer and Moderna. At what point after getting a vaccine should people feel comfortable either taking off a mask or at least going back to in-person activities like weddings?
Yeah, well, I don't think we should be comfortable at this point in taking off a mask or abandoning any of these important public health measures. It will take individuals a matter of a few weeks for their immune systems to start building up and kick in. But as far as we as a population, it's going to take much longer. I think it's important to realize in this particular scenario that these vaccines are protecting against significant infection. They may not be protecting against you having the virus and being able to spread it or transmit it. So we have to be cautious. There's more work that needs to be done. This is just the first step in the beginning of the end. There's much more data that needs to be acquired. The FDA will maintain its vigilance over these vaccines in terms of what's going to happen in the next 6 months, not just with regard to safety, but we have many questions about efficacy. Which of these vaccines will be the best as far as producing the best immune response that will be lasting? Will there be memory? So even if your antibody titer goes down, if you see the virus at some point in the future, your other T cells will remember that and immediately protect you. So there are many more questions, and we need data. We need to be able to capture data as these vaccines are used in the real world. And The FDA is actively engaged in that. The Reagan-Udall Foundation, which supports the FDA's mission, is working to create the kind of infrastructures where we can capture real-world evidence and complement the evidence that's being developed in these randomized trials that the vaccine manufacturers are going to be required to continue.
Dr. von Eschenbach, thank you very much.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.